My name is Gary Wright. I'm head teacher at Usworth Colliery Primary School, which is in Washington. There's around about 380 children in school, and we run from reception right up to year 6. We are in an area which has got a high level of social deprivation. So there is around about there's about 80% in the bottom 30% socially deprived, and there's about 35% in the bottom 10% socially deprived. So with that comes a lot of challenges. There also comes a lot of exciting opportunities as well. We've been able to develop strings of art and culture through all of the curriculum that we do. So not just one-off things, but things that can be repeated every year, but also things that can be developed every year as well, according to what's going on around the whole of the area. So I think before the pandemic, we were getting to a point where we were looking at how we take this legacy further and how we develop this further with other schools as well. And we're working with Sunderland Culture on a passport for this. So basically, we're getting to quite a high standard, I felt, within our curriculum of creative, how we were using creativity and culture within the curriculum. However, the pandemic hit, and it was how we develop that now when we're in this situation, basically. What we've tried to do with all of our learning, we have put everything online. So we've had to make sure that all of the parents can access online learning and the children can access online learning. But what we've tried to do is be very, very mindful about what we're asking them to do. So anything that we're asking the children to do, we would expect them to have those things at home, bearing in mind that not everybody has the same things at home. For instance, even just this week, I know that in maths, they've been in year 1, they were looking at counting and they had to collect 20 objects. So they were collecting objects from around the home. They've also been in year 2, over the last few weeks, they've been creating maps using objects that they've got. So some of the children have been creating objects with the Lego that they had or with toys. So representing the continents using different things, and there's been some very interesting pictures of what they've used as well. It hasn't just been Lego and things like that. They've had like rubber ducks and random things to select, and then they've labeled each of the areas as well. So we've tried to be very creative as a staff body and aware of what the children can do at home. Basically what we do is we set a maths session, an English session, and also another session every single day for the children to do. And we've done that since the first lockdown through Seesaw. The extra session, we felt like that was good enough, but we weren't really inspiring the children as much as we felt like we could. So we set these weekly challenges, and one of those was to recreate a piece of artwork via a photograph, basically. And some the staff did them as well to share with the children, and the children did them as well. And there were some really good ones. I mean, we had the usual ones like Van Gogh's sunflowers and things like that, but we also had like the girl with the pearl earring and things like that. So we had lots of different photos, but they were really, really good and really inspired. And I think the staff doing them as well for the children worked really well. One member of staff did the famous portrait with Jesus, and instead of the lamb, he had a hen from his garden. So, you know, we just try to make it a bit fun as well. And these weekly challenges, which try and engage the parents, not necessarily to produce the best work ever, but to just try and engage them in the learning and trying to show that actually we're all in this together as well. There's a few ways in which the parents and the children share the work. We use, as I've said previously, we use Seesaw. So Seesaw, what they can do on there is the daily tasks are put on there, but the parents can upload and the children can upload back their work that they've done on there. But also the parents and children can comment and write messages to the teachers as well. So there's communication there, but also we use Twitter quite a bit. So we've got quite an active Twitter account. So we're on the 18th of Monday. It's classed as Blue Monday across the whole of the country, where everyone after Christmas finds it very difficult to get motivated. And often that's the day when everyone has the day off sick from work. So we got involved with our home learning with that, and we worked with Sunderland School Games, who had produced this package of YouTube videos which develop physical and mental well-being, really. So there was yoga in there, as well as any of the other like HIIT training and things like that, which we shared with the parents and we shared with the children, and they through Seesaw and also through Twitter. And a lot of the children got involved with that, and we encouraged them to upload videos to Seesaw and upload videos to Twitter as well. Anything like that, we try to involve the children in and try to do different things for them. For Mental Health Week as well, we did something very similar, where the staff put things on Seesaw, and also there was a virtual assembly which we shared with the children, and also about mental health at this time. So we're always trying to drip feed lots of little things that will support mental health through the whole of the lockdown. And we're looking to try and develop a challenge from Sunderland Culture that we're going to send out to everybody as well. They've got a lot of things anyway that they're sharing as far as their museums and things go, that they've got lots of things that we'll be able to tap in through that as well. And obviously the Compendium's got loads of ideas as well that we'll be able to use. I think the biggest challenge for with the pandemic so far, yes, home learning's been hard. I think it's been making sure that the whole school community are okay, basically, because you've got to deal with staff mental health and well-being. You've got to think of children's mental health and well-being. But I'm also dealing with a lot of parents who are really struggling as well and having to support them. Yeah, so we've had to change the way that we deal with parents. It was very much used to be on a very much professional role as far as their children, their learning. Now it's become very much personal basis about how they're coping, how they're managing it. And I think we used to do that, but not as much as we're doing it now. It's very much, and what can we do to support you, to help you support your child, and how are you doing? Can we pass you on to this agency? Can we be able to do this? Can we do that? And as a school, we used to do a lot of that, but now it is really heightened. And I think that's been the challenge, the way that staff have had to change the roles of where they are and what they do within school. And that is basically been the massive challenge for me. So I think the key aspect that's come out of it is we can actually do it. We can actually do home learning, and we can do it relatively effectively. We can't necessarily do it anywhere near as good a job as we do in school, but we can set the work and we know what we can do, and actually we can adapt to it. And I think that's the key that's come out of it for me. I think I'm most proud of what we've done during the pandemic is that we've all worked together. There has not been one member of staff or one parent or anybody who has ducked out. You know, everybody has tried to work the best that they can. And yes, we understand that everybody's circumstances are very different. Staff circumstances are different. Those who've got young children who are home learning, you know, all the parents as well who are working full time, but they're trying to cover childcare so that children are not in school to support everybody else. You've got also you've got the children who are really struggling and not seeing their friends and not seeing their teachers. And when they came back in September, how excited they were to be back in school. You've got all of that going on, but everybody has been remarkably resilient through all of this. And when people have been struggling, everybody else has joined together and supported them as best they can. And I think staff and children and parents are really mindful of that and supporting each other. I've shared the compendium with staff, and staff have been using elements of it. So particularly the art teacher has been looking at some of the museums that are on there and some of the virtual tours and things like that, and have been using those. But also we're setting up, my music lead is setting up a whole school challenge after half term about the body percussion section on there as well. Every week we can't obviously have assemblies in school, so I've been setting up virtual assemblies, and I've been doing this since the beginning of the first lockdown. So they were sent home to share with the parents, to share with the children. where I'm doing my usual whole school assembly based on all of the things that we need at this moment in time. So things about ambition, things about worries, things, all of those things. So I'll deliver it online via video, and also the children get an opportunity as well to sing a song, which is sung with the parents as well, that we used to sing in assemblies, and they've loved that, joining in with the songs, which has been brilliant. The other thing that we did when the children came back after in September, obviously we couldn't do any of the performances that we would usually do at Christmas time, and everybody performs within an inch of the life at Christmas. So what we decided to do was to take that online as well. Parents obviously are in all of the time and they don't get that opportunity now. So we set up a virtual performance for Key Stage 1 and reception, and also a separate one for Key Stage 2, where they all performed their individual parts, and then we put it all together as a performance and then sent that out to parents so they could watch with their families, their children performing. So we did that at Christmas time, but also we always do a staff pantomime for the parents and the children as well. And we managed to do that online as well. Actually, it was probably better because you could understand what was going on online because I was able to edit it. But the outtakes were interesting anyway. But the parents really like that. So, we were able to still carry on doing everything that we try to do usually, but try to do it in a different way.